Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a pressing issue that's been escalating in New York City, the growing homelessness crisis. Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking truth behind this alarming trend. New York City, known for its vibrant energy and iconic landmarks, is facing a severe homelessness crisis. Recent reports indicate that over 350,000 people are experiencing homelessness in the city, with more than 130,000 individuals sleeping in shelters each night. This number has skyrocketed by 53% in just the past year. But what's driving this unprecedented rise? Truth number 1, lack of affordable housing. The first truth is the lack of affordable housing. New York City's housing market has become increasingly unaffordable, pushing many residents to the brink of homelessness. The city's rent prices have skyrocketed, with the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment now exceeding $3,000 per month. This surge in rent prices has made it nearly impossible for low- and middle-income families to secure stable housing. One of the main drivers of this affordability crisis is the limited supply of affordable rental units. The construction of new affordable housing has not kept pace with the growing demand, leading to a severe shortage of available units. Additionally, many existing affordable housing units are being converted into luxury apartments, further reducing the supply. This lack of affordable options forces families to spend a disproportionate amount of their income on rent, leaving little for other essential needs. Gentrification is another factor contributing to the affordable housing crisis. Neighborhoods that were once affordable are now experiencing rapid development and rising property values, displacing long-time residents who can no longer afford to live there. This displacement disproportionately affects communities of color and low-income families, exacerbating existing inequalities. The city's public housing system, managed by the New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA, also faces significant challenges. Many NYCHA buildings are in dire need of repairs and maintenance, with residents living in substandard conditions. The backlog of repairs and the lack of investment in public housing have made it difficult for the city to provide safe and affordable housing for those in need. To address the affordable housing crisis, New York City has implemented various initiatives and policies. The Housing New York Plan aims to create and preserve 300,000 affordable housing units by 2026. This includes incentives for developers to build affordable units, the preservation of existing affordable housing, and the expansion of supportive housing for homeless individuals and families. While these efforts are a step in the right direction, advocates argue that more needs to be done to ensure housing stability for all New Yorkers. In summary, the lack of affordable housing is a critical issue driving the homelessness crisis in New York City. The soaring rent prices, limited supply of affordable units, and gentrification are making it increasingly difficult for residents to secure stable housing. Addressing this crisis requires a comprehensive approach, including increased investment in affordable housing, stronger tenant protections, and innovative solutions to create more affordable options. 2. Evictions and foreclosures. Truth number 2 is the rise in evictions and foreclosures. Many New Yorkers face sudden evictions due to job loss, illness, or other financial hardships. The eviction process can be swift and unforgiving, leaving families with little time to find alternative housing. Additionally, the foreclosure crisis has left many homeowners without a place to call home. Evictions are a leading cause of homelessness in New York City. In many cases, tenants are evicted for falling behind on rent payments, often due to unexpected financial hardships such as job loss, medical expenses, or family emergencies. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated this issue, with many tenants losing their jobs and struggling to keep up with rent. Despite eviction moratoriums put in place during the pandemic, thousands of families still faced eviction once these protections were lifted. Foreclosures have also contributed to the homelessness crisis. Homeowners who are unable to keep up with mortgage payments may lose their homes, often with little notice. The foreclosure process can be lengthy and complex, leaving families in a state of uncertainty and instability. Many former homeowners who lose their properties to foreclosure find it difficult to secure rental housing due to damaged credit and limited financial resources. The impact of evictions and foreclosures extends beyond the immediate loss of housing. Families who experience eviction or foreclosure often face long-term consequences, including financial instability, mental health issues, and disruptions to education and employment. Children who experience homelessness due to eviction or foreclosure may struggle with academic performance and social integration, leading to long-term developmental challenges. To address the issue of evictions, New York City has implemented several measures, including the Right to Counsel program, which provides free legal representation for low-income tenants facing eviction. This program has helped many tenants stay in their homes and avoid eviction. Additionally, rental assistance programs, such as the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, ERAP, provide financial support to tenants who are struggling to pay rent. However, advocates argue that more needs to be done to prevent evictions and foreclosures. This includes stronger tenant protections, such as rent control and eviction protections, as well as increased support for homeowners facing financial hardship. Expanding access to affordable housing and addressing the root causes of financial instability are also critical to preventing homelessness. In summary, evictions and foreclosures are significant contributors to the growing homelessness crisis in New York City. The sudden loss of housing due to financial hardships, job loss, or illness leaves many families without a place to call home. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including legal protections for tenants, financial support for struggling homeowners, and increased investment in affordable housing. 3. Job insecurity. The third truth is job insecurity. The pandemic and economic downturn have led to widespread job losses and reduced working hours. Many people who were once financially stable have found themselves unable to make ends meet, leading to homelessness. The lack of stable employment opportunities continues to be a major issue. Job insecurity has been a persistent challenge for many New Yorkers, particularly those in low-wage and gig economy jobs. The COVID-19 pandemic further exacerbated this issue, with widespread business closures, layoffs, and reduced hours leaving many workers without a steady source of income. Industries such as hospitality, retail, and entertainment were particularly hard hit, with many workers facing long-term unemployment. The gig economy, which includes jobs in ride-sharing, food delivery, and freelance work, has provided some employment opportunities, but these jobs often lack stability and benefits. Gig workers may experience fluctuating incomes, lack of job security, and limited access to healthcare and other essential benefits. This precarious employment situation leaves many workers vulnerable to financial instability and homelessness. For individuals experiencing job insecurity, the financial strain can be overwhelming. Many families live paycheck to paycheck, with little to no savings to fall back on in times of crisis. The loss of a job or a reduction in income can quickly lead to an inability to pay rent or mortgage, resulting in eviction or foreclosure. Additionally, the high cost of living in New York City makes it challenging for individuals with low or unstable incomes to secure affordable housing. The lack of stable employment opportunities also impacts mental health and well-being. The stress and uncertainty of job insecurity can lead to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. For individuals who are already struggling with mental health challenges, job insecurity can exacerbate their conditions and make it difficult to access the support and resources they need. To address job insecurity, New York City has implemented various workforce development programs and initiatives aimed at providing job training, education, and support for unemployed and underemployed individuals. These programs focus on equipping workers with the skills needed for in-demand industries, such as technology, healthcare, and green energy. Additionally, initiatives to support small businesses and promote economic recovery are critical to creating stable employment opportunities. However, addressing job insecurity requires more than just job training and economic recovery efforts. It also involves ensuring fair wages, benefits, and job protections for all workers. Expanding access to affordable healthcare, childcare, and housing is essential to creating a stable foundation for workers and their families. Addressing the root causes of economic inequality and providing a robust social safety net are critical to preventing homelessness and ensuring economic stability for all New Yorkers. In summary, job insecurity is a significant factor contributing to the homelessness crisis in New York City. The lack of stable employment opportunities, compounded by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, has left many individuals and families struggling to make ends meet. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including workforce development, economic recovery efforts, and policies that promote fair wages and job protections. 4. Mental health and addiction. Truth number 4 is the link between homelessness, mental health, and addiction. Many homeless individuals struggle with mental health issues and substance abuse disorders. Unfortunately, there is a lack of adequate mental health services and addiction treatment programs, leaving many without the support they need to regain stability. Mental health issues are both a cause and consequence of homelessness. Many individuals experiencing homelessness struggle with conditions such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. These conditions can make it difficult for individuals to maintain stable employment, secure housing, and access necessary resources. Additionally, the stress and trauma of homelessness can exacerbate existing mental health conditions and lead to the development of new ones. Substance abuse disorders are also prevalent among the homeless population. Many individuals turn to drugs and alcohol as a coping mechanism for the challenges and stressors of homelessness. Substance abuse can further complicate an individual's ability to secure and maintain housing, as well as access healthcare and employment opportunities. The stigma surrounding addiction often prevents individuals from seeking the help they need, leading to a cycle of substance abuse and homelessness. Unfortunately, the availability of mental health and addiction treatment services in New York City is limited. Many individuals face long wait times for appointments, inadequate treatment options, and a lack of integrated care that addresses both mental health and substance abuse. The high cost of treatment and lack of insurance coverage further limit access to these essential services. Supportive housing programs, which provide stable housing along with mental health and addiction treatment services, are a crucial component in addressing this issue. However, there is a shortage of supportive housing units in New York City, and many individuals face long waitlists to access these services. Additionally, the funding for these programs is often insufficient to meet the growing demand. The lack of coordination between mental health, addiction treatment, and homelessness services also poses a significant challenge. Individuals experiencing homelessness often have to navigate a complex and fragmented system to access the care they need. This can lead to gaps in services and individuals falling through the cracks. To address the link between homelessness, mental health, and addiction, New York City has implemented various initiatives. The Thrive NYC program aims to expand access to mental health services, including outreach and support for homeless individuals. Additionally, the city has established drop-in centers and mobile outreach teams to provide immediate assistance and connect individuals to longer-term services. However, advocates argue that more needs to be done to create a comprehensive and integrated system of care. This includes increasing funding for mental health and addiction treatment services, expanding supportive housing programs, and improving coordination between different service providers. Addressing the root causes of homelessness, such as poverty and housing instability, is also critical to preventing mental health and addiction issues. In summary, the link between homelessness, mental health, and addiction is a significant factor contributing to the growing homelessness crisis in New York City. The lack of adequate mental health services and addiction treatment programs leaves many individuals without the support they need to regain stability. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including increased funding, expanded services, and improved coordination between different service providers. 5. Overwhelmed shelter system. Truth number 5 is the overwhelmed shelter system. New York City shelters are at maximum capacity, and many are struggling to provide adequate services. People often have to sleep in overcrowded conditions, and the lack of space means that some are forced to sleep on the streets. The city's shelter system has seen a dramatic increase in demand over the past few years, driven by the rise in homelessness. Currently, over 130,000 individuals are sleeping in shelters each night, including thousands of families with children. The influx of people seeking shelter has strained the system, leading to overcrowded conditions and inadequate resources. One of the main challenges faced by the shelter system is the lack of capacity to accommodate the growing number of homeless individuals. Many shelters are operating at or above capacity, and new shelters are struggling to keep up with the demand. This has led to situations where individuals have to sleep in hallways, on floors, or in makeshift beds. The overcrowded conditions can also create safety and health concerns, particularly in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. The quality of services provided in shelters varies widely. Some shelters offer comprehensive support, including case management, job training, and mental health services. However, many shelters lack the resources to provide these essential services, leaving individuals without the support they need to regain stability. The turnover of shelter staff and the high demand for services can also create challenges in providing consistent and effective care. Families and children in shelters face unique challenges. The instability of shelter living can disrupt children's education, emotional well-being, and development. Many families experience frequent moves between shelters, making it difficult to establish a sense of stability and routine. The lack of privacy and space in shelters can also create stress and tension among family members. The city has made efforts to address the overwhelmed shelter system by opening new shelters and expanding existing ones. The Turning the Tide plan aims to reduce the number of homeless individuals on the streets by increasing shelter capacity and improving services. The city has also implemented rental assistance programs and housing vouchers to help individuals transition from shelters to permanent housing. However, advocates argue that more needs to be done to address the root causes of homelessness and reduce the reliance on shelters. This includes increasing the availability of affordable housing, expanding mental health and addiction treatment services, and providing more comprehensive support for homeless individuals and families. In summary, the overwhelmed shelter system is a significant factor contributing to the growing homelessness crisis in New York City. The lack of capacity, overcrowded conditions, and inadequate services leave many individuals without the support they need to regain stability. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including increased shelter capacity, improved services, and efforts to address the root causes of homelessness. 6. Families in crisis. Truth number 6 is the impact on families. Homelessness is not just an individual issue, it affects entire families. Nearly 45,000 children are currently living in shelters, facing disruptions in their education and emotional well-being. The trauma of homelessness can have long-lasting effects on these young lives. Families experiencing homelessness often face unique challenges compared to individuals. The instability of not having a permanent home can create significant stress and anxiety for parents and children alike. Many families experience frequent moves between shelters or temporary housing, making it difficult to establish a sense of stability and routine. Children who experience homelessness are at a higher risk of facing educational disruptions. Frequent moves and the instability of shelter living can lead to absences from school, difficulty concentrating, and challenges in keeping up with their peers. The lack of access to necessary resources, such as school supplies, transportation, and a quiet place to study, can further hinder their academic performance. These educational disruptions can have long-term consequences, affecting children's future opportunities and prospects. The emotional well-being of children experiencing homelessness is also at risk. The trauma of losing their home, combined with the stress and uncertainty of shelter living, can lead to anxiety, depression, and behavioral issues. The lack of privacy and space in shelters can create additional stress and tension among family members, making it difficult for children to feel safe and secure. Parents experiencing homelessness face significant challenges in providing for their families. Many parents struggle to secure stable employment due to the instability of their housing situation and the lack of access to childcare and transportation. The stress of trying to meet their family's basic needs while navigating the complex shelter system can take a toll on parents' mental and physical health. To support families experiencing homelessness, New York City has implemented various programs and services. Family shelters provide temporary housing and support services, including case management, job training, and mental health services. The city's Department of Education has established the Students in Temporary Housing program to support homeless students and ensure they have access to the resources they need to succeed in school. Additionally, rental assistance programs and housing vouchers aim to help families transition from shelters to permanent housing. Programs like the Family Eviction Prevention Supplement, FEPS, provide financial assistance to families at risk of eviction, helping them maintain stable housing and avoid homelessness. However, advocates argue that more needs to be done to address the unique challenges faced by homeless families. This includes increasing the availability of affordable family housing, expanding access to childcare and transportation, and providing comprehensive support services that address the needs of both parents and children. In summary, the impact on families is a significant aspect of the growing homelessness crisis in New York City. The instability of shelter living, educational disruptions, and emotional stress can have long-lasting effects on children and their parents. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including increased support for homeless families, expanded access to affordable housing, and efforts to address the root causes of homelessness. 7. Domestic violence. Truth number 7 is the role of domestic violence. Many individuals and families become homeless after fleeing abusive situations. Without adequate support and safe housing options, survivors of domestic violence often find themselves on the streets or in shelters. Domestic violence is a leading cause of homelessness, particularly among women and children. Survivors of domestic violence often face difficult decisions, as leaving an abusive situation can mean leaving behind their home, financial stability, and support networks. Many survivors have limited resources and face significant barriers in accessing safe and stable housing. The trauma of domestic violence can have profound effects on survivors' mental and physical health. Many individuals experience anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and other mental health challenges as a result of their abusive experiences. These mental health issues can make it even more difficult for survivors to navigate the complexities of finding and maintaining housing. Shelters and transitional housing programs play a crucial role in providing immediate safety and support for survivors of domestic violence. These programs offer a range of services, including safe and confidential housing, counseling, legal assistance, and support groups. However, the demand for these services often exceeds the available resources, leading to long waitlists and limited access to support. Survivors of domestic violence also face challenges in securing permanent housing. Many landlords are reluctant to rent to individuals with a history of domestic violence due to concerns about potential conflicts or property damage. Additionally, survivors may have poor credit or a lack of rental history, making it difficult to meet the requirements for rental applications. This discrimination further limits their housing options and perpetuates the cycle of homelessness. To address the issue of domestic violence and homelessness, New York City has implemented various initiatives and programs. The Domestic Violence and Empowerment (DOVE) initiative provides funding for community-based organizations that offer services and support to survivors. The city's family justice centers offer comprehensive support, including counseling, legal assistance, and safety planning, all in one location. Additionally, the Housing Stability Plus program provides rental assistance and support services for survivors of domestic violence to help them secure and maintain permanent housing. This program aims to address the unique barriers that survivors face in the housing market and provide long-term stability. However, advocates argue that more needs to be done to ensure that survivors have access to safe and stable housing. This includes increasing funding for domestic violence shelters and services, expanding access to affordable housing, and implementing policies that protect survivors from discrimination in the housing market. Providing trauma-informed care and support is also critical to helping survivors heal and rebuild their lives. In summary, domestic violence is a significant factor contributing to the homelessness crisis in New York City. Many individuals and families become homeless after fleeing abusive situations and face significant barriers in accessing safe and stable housing. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including increased support for survivors, expanded access to affordable housing, and policies that protect survivors from discrimination. 8. Aging homeless population. Truth number 8 is the aging homeless population. The number of elderly individuals experiencing homelessness is on the rise. Many seniors face unique challenges, including health issues and a lack of social support, making it difficult for them to find stable housing. The aging homeless population is a growing concern in New York City. As the general population ages, so does the homeless population. Many older adults who experience homelessness have been homeless for extended periods, while others may be experiencing homelessness for the first time later in life. The reasons for homelessness among seniors are varied, including financial hardship, health issues, and the loss of a spouse or family support. Health issues are a significant concern for the aging homeless population. Many elderly individuals experiencing homelessness have chronic health conditions, such as diabetes, heart disease, and mobility issues. The lack of stable housing exacerbates these health problems, as homeless seniors often struggle to access consistent health care and medications. The physical and mental toll of homelessness can accelerate the aging process and lead to a decline in overall health and well-being. Social isolation is another challenge faced by the aging homeless population. Many older adults experiencing homelessness have limited social support, as they may be estranged from family or lack a network of friends. This isolation can contribute to feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety, further complicating their ability to navigate the challenges of homelessness. The traditional shelter system is often not equipped to meet the needs of elderly individuals. Shelters may lack the accessibility features and specialized care required for seniors with mobility issues or health concerns. Additionally, the crowded and chaotic environment of shelters can be particularly stressful for older adults, making it difficult for them to feel safe and secure. To address the unique needs of the aging homeless population, New York City has implemented various programs and services. The city's Department for the Aging, DFT, offers support and resources for older adults experiencing homelessness, including access to senior centers, case management, and healthcare services. The Homebase program provides eviction prevention services and rental assistance to help seniors maintain stable housing. Supportive housing programs that offer on-site healthcare and social services are also crucial for addressing the needs of elderly individuals experiencing homelessness. These programs provide a stable living environment and access to the care and support that seniors need to manage their health and well-being. However, the availability of supportive housing units is limited, and many elderly individuals face long wait lists to access these services. Advocates argue that more needs to be done to address the growing issue of homelessness among seniors. This includes increasing the availability of affordable and accessible housing for older adults, expanding healthcare and support services tailored to the needs of seniors, and providing more comprehensive outreach and case management to connect elderly individuals with the resources they need. In summary, the aging homeless population is a significant and growing concern in New York City. Many seniors face unique challenges, including health issues, social isolation, and a lack of accessible housing options. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, including increased support services, expanded access to affordable housing, and efforts to provide specialized care for elderly individuals experiencing homelessness. 9. Inadequate government response. Truth number 9 is the inadequate government response. While there have been efforts to address the crisis, many advocates argue that the measures are insufficient. There is a need for more comprehensive policies that tackle the root causes of homelessness and provide long-term solutions. New York City has implemented various initiatives and programs to combat homelessness, including increasing shelter capacity, providing rental assistance, and expanding mental health services. The Housing New York plan aims to create and preserve 300,000 affordable housing units by 2026. The Right to Counsel program provides free legal representation for low-income tenants facing eviction,